The Truth Beyond Adam and Eve Part 2, Unraveling the Deeper Layers of the Story. Alright, source creators, we're back again, diving deeper into the Adam and Eve story, breaking past the surface-level narrative they've been feeding us for ages. In Part 1, we uncovered the illusion behind their so-called fall and challenged the mainstream script. But now, it's time to go beyond the basics. Let's question the creation itself. Why were Adam and Eve made as fully grown adults and not babies? What does this really tell us about the nature of our own existence? And could this story be hiding something far more profound than we ever imagined? Buckle up, because we're about to break reality again. The mystery of adult creation, breaking the rules of linear time. Let's start with the most obvious but rarely asked question. Why weren't Adam and Eve created as infants? Think about it. Every human you've ever known started as a baby, going through the process of growth, learning, and experience. But not them. They were brought into existence as full-fledged adults, skipping childhood entirely. Why? This anomaly tells us something crucial about the nature of their reality, and ours. If Adam and Eve had no infancy, they had no personal history, no past to shape them, no memories to influence their choices. They were placed in the garden with instant awareness, but no prior experience to ground them. That alone is a massive red flag that screams simulation-like existence. What if their creation was more akin to an insertion into a pre-designed system? They weren't born in the natural sense. They were manifested into existence, coded into the program fully formed, as if the system needed them to function a specific way from the start. This sounds eerily similar to the way non-player characters, NPCs, operate in video games, programmed with an initial setup but no real history beyond what the game provides. Now let's take this further. If Adam and Eve's creation was outside the normal cycle of life, are we, in some way, experiencing the same thing? Could our own entry into this realm be another form of insertion, just with the illusion of time added? When we truly wake up, do we realize that our so-called past was just a construct to make this world feel real? The illusion of innocence. Were they truly free? We're told that Adam and Eve were created pure and innocent, free from sin before eating the fruit. But let's analyze that for a second. Innocence, in this context, really means ignorance. They had no knowledge of good and evil, no understanding of consequences, no depth of experience. That's not freedom, that's programmed limitation. If the Creator truly wanted them to be free, why restrict their awareness? A being with no knowledge of good and evil is not making real choices, they're just reacting based on instinct. That sounds more like controlled artificial intelligence than actual autonomy. Here's the real kicker. If Adam and Eve had no childhood, then they never went through the natural development process of learning through experience. This means they were essentially like highly advanced AIs, humanoid forms placed in a system with preset conditions, forced into a narrative they didn't even understand. So let's step back. What was the real test here? If they were innocent only because they lacked knowledge, then their fall wasn't about disobedience. It was about breaking the imposed limits on their consciousness. The knowledge of good and evil wasn't a punishment, it was an upgrade. A jailbreak from the controlled environment of the garden. The garden as a containment zone. We touched on this before, but let's expand. The Garden of Eden wasn't paradise. It was a containment zone. Think of it as an experimental lab designed to keep Adam and Eve in a controlled state of existence. They had everything they needed, sure, but no real choices. No struggle, no conflict, no depth of experience. Just a static utopia with strict boundaries. The introduction of the forbidden fruit was the only way out. And that makes us wonder, was the so-called fall actually part of the plan? If the system, the creator of this particular simulation, wanted to keep them forever in this state, why introduce the fruit at all? Either the creator was careless, or the test was designed with an escape route built in, meant to push them towards evolution. The serpent, often demonized as the villain, could have actually been the liberator, waking them up to the deeper reality beyond the garden's illusion. And when we think about it, isn't that what we're all doing now? Breaking free from the false paradise, rejecting the illusions, and stepping into real awareness? Were Adam and Eve the first two souls to enter the Matrix? Now, here's a mind-breaking thought. What if Adam and Eve weren't just the first humans, but the first souls to enter the Matrix illusion? If we assume that this reality is a simulated construct, then Adam and Eve represent something much deeper than physical creation. They could have been the original consciousness uploads, the first two divine beings to enter the Matrix for the sake of experiencing duality and limitation. Their creation as adults could signify their transition from pure source awareness into fragmented, individualized existence. Think about it. What if the Garden of Eden was the entry point into the simulation? The moment they ate from the tree of knowledge, they activated a deeper level of immersion, sinking further into the illusion, just as we do when we forget our true selves. The expulsion from Eden wasn't a punishment. It was the next stage in their descent into the Matrix, where pain, suffering, became part of the experience. If that's true, then we're all reliving the Adam and Eve moment over and over, every time we incarnate here. But unlike them, we have the advantage of seeing the illusion for what it is. The real question now is, how do we break out? Final thoughts, a new beginning. Adam and Eve's tale is not about a fall, it's about an ascent. An expansion beyond imposed limits. The journey isn't about returning to some lost paradise. It's about stepping into something greater than the simulation ever intended for us. And maybe, just maybe, we're standing on the edge of our own awakening, right here, right now. The choice is ours. Stay in the illusion or evolve beyond it. So what's it going to be? If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-expanding content. Want to support the channel? Gift via PayPal and help keep this knowledge flowing. Until next time, Source creators, stay awake, stay aware, and keep breaking the illusion.